Hey folks, and welcome to your continuing education with AIARE. This is the digital mapping webinar. My name's John McKinnon, and I'll be walking you through some of the pre-course modules via these YouTube videos. I'll also be hosting the live webinar on November 12th. So this is Module 1. We're just going to go over an introduction of the webinar. This is a little different than last year, whereas last year we just had a 3-hour webinar. This year we built a bunch of content online that we're going to push out to you all before the webinar starts to kind of flip the classroom a bit and prime you all for the webinar. So these are the overarching lesson goals for the webinar. We want to talk about teaching techniques and methods that you as an AIARE instructor can use as you present this idea of trip option catalogs to your AIARE 1 and AIARE 2 participants. And in the same vein, we want to familiarize everybody with online resources that allow you to create digital maps and digital navigation resources and trip option catalogs for your participants. So this is the flow of the webinar this year. This is Module 1, so there's 5 pre-course material modules that are all done on YouTube videos. The webinar is on November 12th. And then after the webinar, there's a follow-up assignment as a trip option assignment, and it's due December 12th. So we'll call the pre-course materials modules 1 through 5. The webinar is module 6, and the trip option assignment is module 7. So right now we're in module 1, the intro video. Module 2 will be a similar video. It's an overview of trip option catalogs. Module 3 is a CalTopo video. We'll go over how to use CalTopo, some very basic techniques. Module 4 is how to incorporate Google Earth into the trip option catalogs and the trip planning process. Module 5 is where we go over Avenza, which is an application for your smartphone that allows you to sync your CalTopo map with your smartphone. There's a recommended video for folks to watch. At Seesaw this year, Dr. Jeff Deems spoke about digital elevation models, digital mapping and uncertainty, and there's a link for that will be arriving in your pre-course or pre-webinar material. Module 6 is the live webinar. It's on Zoom at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's a virtual space where we can collaborate digitally with other AIARE instructors, learn how to apply the digital navigation resources to AIARE 1 and AIARE 2 programs. And Module 7 is a trip option assignment. Talk more about that during the webinar, but you'll build a trip option catalog for your home venue, and then you'll receive feedback from a member of the AIARE instructor trainer team on your assignment. And that's due on December 12th. So these are the more granular learning outcomes for the whole flow of the whole webinar continuing education flow. So after completing this continuing ed program, you should be able to summarize why we investigate trip options, so why it's important to present this material to your AIARE 1 and AIARE 2 participants. Explain the differences between how you might present that material to an AIARE 1 and an AIARE 2 audience, kind of understanding the scope and sequence of each of those courses. You'll be able to generate simple digital content in CalTopo. You'll demonstrate to AIARE participants how to incorporate different files into their trip option catalogs. You'll instruct your participants how to sync digital resources with their smartphones using that Avenza app. And lastly, you'll create a plan for building digital mapping resources for your home venue. Required technology for this webinar. For the pre-course material as well as for the webinar, you need consistent high-speed internet, a computer, a tablet generally won't work, a smartphone, Avenza, which you can download online for your phone, and Google Earth Pro. So you also need to download Google Earth Pro. The web-based version of Google Earth does not work with importing and exporting files. So that's required technology, and you'll want to make sure you obtain this technology before you continue in the pre-course learning. Next step is we're going to go on to Module 2, which is a brief overview of trip option catalogs.